Okay, now after you have it all pulled apart and fluffed up, it's basically like a piece of cotton now. You're going to add your filler to it. Getting blades open. Spreaders, whatever you want to call them. They're all mud blades. Again, Fiberlay have their own spreaders. And I like to keep the small and medium one. And the big one I actually like to cut in half and use as 2 mixing blades. I just don't like the big blades. It's a little bit more than I like to work with. So now I have a 4-pack, which is a small, a medium, and 2 mixers, which is what I prefer. And now I'm going to add the filler to the actual fiberglass mat. I'm doing it this way because, one, I am a cheapskate. I have no money, so I'll just use what I have, and since I already have this, instead of getting a $37 quart of short strand, I'll just make my own. And the reason I'm not scraping the blade on the side is it's just going to make it harder to mix without making a mess, and to keep it all uniform mixed. Which I'm going to mix it in there first with the filler and the resin, and then I'll put it out onto my favorite mixing board, which is a big piece of glass. And the reason I like the big piece of glass is, one, if you've ever used cardboard, bad idea, don't do it. You'll know you'll get the little balls of cardboard in it. And if you use the aluminum mixing board, they're not very sturdy. And if you use the cardboard with the removable, I guess you'd call it mixing board, the disposable kind, those, I just don't like those. Not enough room. I use a piece of glass, which is actually off of an end table, and that's what I like to use to mix all of my jellies, body fillers, putties, all that I like to mix on that glass. And really, you just add some water to it, and you spray it down with water after you're done. And you can use a scraper like this. They call it a 5-in-1 generally is what we call it. So, and it pops right off there, no problem. And I've had this one for 5 years. I've used it probably over 100 times. Alright, so now we have the resin, the filler, and the fiberglass in there. And just want to take your time, mix it up. Now the reason for the actual resin is it's going to help, one, thin that filler back out after you add all that fiberglass, and two, it's going to make it a tad bit, it's going to soak into the fibers more is what it's going to do. So I'm going to mix this up real good. And again, there's no hardener in it yet. I'm going to mix it before I put hardener in it. And then after you get it all mixed, you'll add hardener to it. And then it'll be short strand filler. So we're almost there already. But I'm going to go ahead and click the camera off. Tend to the fire. It is only 40 degrees. So I'll be on right here in a second. Okay, so I have the short strand that I made on there. And I won't know if it works till tomorrow. It's 40 degrees. I made up just enough to see if it's going to work. Hopefully it dries. I mean, even if it dries and it's crap, I can grind it off. But if it don't dry and it's crap, then I'm going to have to scrape it off. And that's going to suck. But that's where I'm at. It seems to have worked. It's sort of like pulling around bubble gum in your hair. That's what it's like. You know, it's got all the fibers and it's goop. But, I mean, if it dries, it works, and it's, you know, I can make it easy. So, we'll see if it works tomorrow. It's 40 degrees right now, so it's going to take overnight for sure to dry. I put in almost twice the amount of cream hardener that I would put in that much filler for the temperature, so I will show you tomorrow what it turned out like. So here's where we're at. These skulls are actually stuck down already, but have more to put on there. But it's 40, I think it's about 42 degrees in the garage, and it's about 25 outside right now, so it's cold. What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to put some filler on the sides, the back, and the other side. Trying to get something done while I'm waiting for heat. But that's what I'm going to do now. Just mix up some filler and put on it. I'm going to be mixing up some Rage Gold. A lot of people have different ways they like to mix it together with the hardener. In my opinion, it don't matter. What you're doing is trying not to get air in it. You're going to get air in it no matter what. There's not a person on this planet who says they can do it perfectly without getting air in it. It's impossible. I mean, some people have guns that squirt it out, and I'm pretty sure they're still going to have air in it. But what I generally like to do is, some people say, you know, don't stir it with the blades or the spreader, should I say. I call them blades, but call them mud blades. But again, I don't really think it matters. Stir it however you want to, just as long as it's together real good. And then when you go to apply it, just fold it together real good again. And when you fold it, you know, you push down on it and pull back. And what that's going to do is that's going to try to get most of the bubbles out if there is any. But again, there's no way to get every single bubble out. Evercoat probably has the best fillers on the market. And this is from Fiberlay. They don't make the product, but they sell the product. So even if you just need fillers, go see Fiberlay. I also have, they also got polyester putties, which are great at the end for getting all of the pinholes, which are left over from the air bubbles. Again, no, they wouldn't sell the putties if you could get it without air bubbles in it. So that's plain and simple. So let's mix up some harder. Now it's cold, so I'm going to add a little bit more than usual. There we go. I mean, that's probably still a small amount for as cold as it is, but I like to have time to work with it. So as you can see how thick it is, it's because it's so cold. So I'm going to finish mixing this and get over onto the actual enclosure. Alright, so now I get to sling it on there. Oh yeah, it is definitely cold in here. It'll be alright. Just means it'll take longer to dry. It's okay. Whew. It's going on like soft clay right now. It's that cold. I like the interesting colors some of them make it. I'd like to see a purple one, a purple filler. That would be kind of cool. I definitely don't want a black one. That would be terrible. Just a light colored filler with a purple hardener. That would just be, I don't know. There's probably people out there that do buy this just because of the color it turns. Which right now, I don't know if the camera's picking up, but this is about puke green. Blue and yellow. Oh, be nice if I had some insulation in my garage. Nope, wood walls. So when it's cold, there's two things you do. You put a lot of clothes on and you build a fire. Or, well, there's three things you can do. You can do nothing at all. But a little bit obsessed. I am going to leave it on kind of thick so that way I can shape it a little bit better. Because I know there's a lot of lows and a lot of highs. So if you leave it a little bit thick, you can try to fill up some of them lows. And lows are low spots. Which, I mean, hopefully somebody knew that out there. Again, a million different ways to do everything anymore. keep on turning. Again, I have plenty of time to work with this. But being this cold, who wants to? Yep, quality stuff goes on better than other stuff. I'm not going to say what other stuff, but other stuff. Well, I can tell you the chain auto parts store stuff. The pink stuff. There we go, the pink stuff. That pink stuff is junk. I'm sure this would be going on a lot better if it wasn't, again, 40 degrees. Oh yeah, mixed up a lot. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to mix some more. But really, I don't like mixing another batch and then adding it to a batch that, you know, this is already wet and ain't dry yet. I don't like adding to a batch that's already drying. So I'm gonna wait, and then I'll add. Then, you know, I'll sand this back on the edges to feather in the newer stuff. It's just the way I am. I mean, if I was in a super hurry, I wouldn't mind. Not in a hurry though. I've got time. That was it. That was a lot too. Wow. I did lay it on there thick though, so. Alright, so I'm going to let that dry now. Then I'll come back, knock it down, add to it. Yep. It's like stirring Play-Doh with hardener and using it, but it's on there. I'll finish it up and then I'll show you after I get that all sanded. The rest of the skull's on and then mudded in between there.